Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, former Saints DB, a tweener between safety and nickel. Can you give us the details on this trade, how this trade came about, the chess pieces that were moved, and just what your overall expectations are for his impact? I know you mentioned speed and they got younger, but can you expand on that and elaborate just on the details surrounding this entire move? Because no one saw this coming. I mean, we knew they needed a safety, right?
Well, we knew they needed a safety. The problem is they didn't trade for a safety. They traded for a nickel corner who they're going to turn into a safety. So yeah, it was a little bit unconventional. I'm a little bit surprised people are so excited about this trade, to be honest. Couple things.
Here goes Cynical John. Here we go.
Well, I mean, he's played 80 snaps in his entire career at safety. Number one. Number two, they traded a 5th-round pick in 2023 and a 6th-round pick in 2024. I mean, this isn't Marcus Williams, who they tried to sign in free agency for $13 million a year and got outbid.
Right.
This is a young player that they think can project the safety, but he's never played safety. He's hasn't been here, so he's got to learn the whole system, and he's got less than 2 weeks to the opener in Detroit. They got younger, they got more athletic, and they got more speed. That's fair to say. So they got better from a trait standpoint. But I can tell you, Anthony Harris knows how to play safety. He knows how to play safety in this defense. He knows how to line up. He knows all those little things. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson doesn't have that kind of savvy playing the position. Now, maybe it works out, but I got the feeling like people were spiking the football about this, and I'm like, you might want to wait and see how this looks.
You bring up an interesting point. They essentially traded experience, or not traded experience, but they essentially got rid of experience for youth and fire, and what they anticipate this guy to be, right? Projection. And I'm curious to know, what do you think goes into a decision like that? How does a team move on from a guy who clearly knows the system, who knows how to play the position fairly well? I guess a guy like that you consider to be old reliable, right? He doesn't really make too many mistakes.
He's an average player. Yeah. I mean, he was earlier in his career, he was a great player, but he's not that anymore. And he is over 30. So you do tend to continue to descend at that point. You're not going to go back to what you were. So I get it from that standpoint. And the Eagles have been trying to get an upgraded safety throughout the offseason. I mentioned Marcus Williams. They kicked the tires on Honey Badger. They've been looking stealth, as I think Albert Frios said, stealthy, looking for a safety, but wasn't stealthy. We've been writing about it for months. They've been looking for a stinking safety. They signed Jaquiski Tartt. They knew they needed an upgraded safety. They weren't able to do it. You can't get everything. They got Jordan Davis for the interior line. They got Hassan Reddick as an edge rusher. They got Kaiser White as a coverage linebacker. They got James Bradbury at corner. They were able to do all these things. You can't do everything. So now you're at the end of the process and you got to start thinking outside the box. So I'll give them credit. We're all looking at safeties. We're all saying, well, maybe they can get Chuck Clark. Maybe they can get this guy. Maybe they can get that guy. We weren't looking at nickel corners to play safety. So I give them credit for thinking outside the box. And if it works, great. But he played 9 reps at safety last year. 9. He played 477 in the slot. I don't know if he can play safety. I know Anthony Harris can play safety.
So that begs the question. Is there a chance, and me personally, I'll be against this, but is there a chance they even consider moving Avonte Maddox to safety? He has experience doing that, and, you know, they've thought about it before.
No, he did that under Jim Schwartz. Unless Jonathan Gannon is flat out lying to me. He said he's not moving Avonte Maddox. Couple things there. Avonte was forced into playing safety as a rookie because of injuries. And it was sort of like what I just said about Josh Sills. You know, he deserves a lot of credit for doing something he's never done before and really working at it. But there's this sort of revisionist history that he played well at safety as a rookie. He didn't play well. He fought and he scratched, and it was better than it probably should have been. And he deserves a lot of credit for that. But I see this narrative of he played well at safety. He didn't play well at safety. And he plays really, really well in slot corner. Now, Jonathan Gannon also, you know, says in his scheme, slot and safety kind of mirror each other at times. But make no mistake, the plan here is for Chauncey to play safety. That's what he's coming here for. That's what he's going to do. Now, if he fails, then you have to figure something out. So it might be Josiah Scott when he gets healthy. It might be Avonte Maddox at that point. But Jonathan Gannon to this point has been steadfast. He is not moving Avonte Maddox.